The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms, and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. This lesson contains only one character, based on the same phonetic as in lesson 64. Gua, also pronounced guo, is the shoulder blade of an ox prepared for use in divination, that is, seeking answers or predictions from the spirit world. The spirit's response, those cracks in the bone, were later replaced by a mouth. The bone's upper right corner is missing, having been sawed off to allow the marrow to drain out, in order to speed up the drying and preparation process. Our first and only character today is this divination bone paired with the movement radical. Its earliest meaning was an unintentional error or action that offended the gods. A divination ritual was then necessary to determine what that error was and how to placate the angry spirits to preclude any disaster that might occur as a result. This character is pronounced fourth tone, guo, guo. Here are two examples of 过失, meaning error or fault. 这么大的过失，必然会有罚金。An error of this magnitude will definitely be subject to a fine. 他把他的过失看成不足为奇的事。She considers his faults to be nothing out of the ordinary. Notice the idiom 不足为奇, meaning there's nothing remarkable or extraordinary about this. Literally, not enough to be surprising. Since an error is often due to a limit being exceeded, a boundary being crossed, here are some examples of nouns followed by 过, indicating a person or thing passing, coming, or going, either in time or in space. 雨过天晴, the sun shines again after the rain. This idiom refers to an incident or confusion, after which everything returns to normal. 大雨过后，我怕会有水灾。After this downpour, I'm afraid there will be flooding. 看样子，好天气要过去了。It looks like this fine weather is about to end. 她的气头差不多过去了。Her fit of rage has more or less passed. Notice how 去 is unstressed in those two sentences when it means to be over or to pass by. When 去 is normally stressed fourth tone, it means in the past, at one time, or formerly. Here's a sentence with that meaning. 你的大眼睛跟过去一样迷人。Your big eyes are the same as ever, bewitching. Notice how every race has its insecurities. Americans love having a nice tan, whereas Asian women often use umbrellas, even on cloudy days, lest those ultraviolet rays cause their skin to darken. Traditionally, white skin meant a woman probably had no need to work, at least not outside in harsh sunlight. Big eyes are another physical trait that Asians consider desirable, a fact that keeps the plastic surgeons busy. 过来 and 过去 mean to go over or come over, to do something. Notice how 来 and 去 are generally unstressed in this usage. In English, over implies that there's a distance between you and your destination. That connotation is expressed by 过 in Chinese. 请你过来挨着我坐. Come over here and sit by me. 我过去看看下一班几点. I'll go over and check when the next bus is, or the next train. Normally stressed, 过来人 is a person who's been there, done that. Someone with a particular experience who understands the situation. 您是过来人，请您点他一下。With all your experience, could you give him a few pointers? 点, remember, means to tap lightly. So 点他一下 means to offer him some advice. 作为过来人，跟你分享我的想法。As someone who's had that experience, I'll share a few of my thoughts on it. 过问 is a useful expression meaning to take an interest in, ask or care about, and possibly to interfere. It literally means to go and ask. 我不想过问他个人的事。I don't want to interfere in her personal affairs. 别以为没有人会过问你们的关系。Don't kid yourself that nobody will care about your relationship. They will. 妈，累成这样，我不好意思过问。Mom just looks so exhausted, but I hesitate to ask her why. Literally, I'm too embarrassed to bring it up. We learned long ago that 可是 means but or however. Now we have 不过, literally something I can't get over, can't just pass by. It can also mean only or merely, literally not going over, not exceeding. 这间屋子很好，不过小了一点。This room is pretty good, but a little on the small side. 你这样说明可以，不过没人会相信。You can explain it that way, but no one will believe you. 我的侄女不过才9个月大而已。My little niece is only 9 months old. Here are some verb compounds with unstressed 的 and 不 to indicate the ability to pass, come, or go. 水流很急，牛羊过不来。The current is very swift. The cows and sheep cannot cross over to where we are. 我的北京口音怎么样？过得去。How's my Beijing accent? It's okay. It's passable. Not too bad. 想看他能说会道，是否过得去这关？ I'm curious to see if he can bluff his way through this test. Remember, 能说会道 means a person is a great talker, has the gift of the gab. And 关 here refers to an ordeal, test, or interview that must be negotiated successfully. In conversation, the subject of the verb, I'm in this case, can sometimes be omitted. Our next phrase is 过意不去, meaning one is unable to express one's thanks adequately, to feel apologetic or sorry for a situation. Literally, it says you can't get over this feeling. 我很过意不去，这事惹了不少麻烦。I'm really sorry this has caused so much trouble. 他不听话挨骂，不必为他过意不去。Being scolded for misbehaving is no reason to feel sorry for her. 大家吃肉，而我吃素，有一点过意不去。Everyone's having meat while I'm vegetarian. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? Now we have 过 plus a noun, meaning to pass through or transfer from one to another. 过几天，我把样品寄出去。I'll send the samples out in a few days. 过几天 naturally means after a few days have passed. 你这样念书，永不会过关。If you study like this, you'll never pass muster. 过户 means to transfer a piece of property to someone else. 我的汽车已过户到太太的名下。I've already transferred the registration, putting my car under my wife's name. 过目 is an expression meaning literally to pass one's eyes over, take a quick look at something. 这是我们计划的重点，请过目一下。These are the main points of our plan. Would you have a look at them? 过日子 is a phrase meaning to spend one's days or pass one's time in some activity, or it can mean to celebrate a holiday or birthday. 省吃省用，我们就是这样过日子。Eat simply and waste little. That's how we manage to get by. 人没有手机怎能过日子？ How can anyone live without a mobile phone? 我什么都不需要，过生日你来就好。I don't need anything for my birthday. Just come celebrate. 你们怎么知道我今天过生日？ How did you know today was my birthday? 过 plus a noun or adjective means to pass beyond or exceed. 过人 emphasizes that something is beyond normal for most people. 他不花心，使太太有过人的想象力。He's not unfaithful. His wife just has an unusually active imagination. 没有人能否认她的才华过人。No one can deny that she is marvelously talented. 在宝玉、古玩的事情上，她眼力过人。When it comes to precious stones and antiques, she has excellent judgment. 其他人不像她在工作上精力过人。No other staff member can come close to his energy on the job. 过时 means obsolete, out of date, antiquated, beyond a set time. Literally, past the time. 你们这个技术早就过时了。Your technique has been obsolete for quite a while. 车子9点开，过时不候。The bus leaves at 9 sharp and will not wait. 过头 is a phrase meaning excessive. Something has gone too far. 我们走过头了。We've walked too far and missed the street where we should have turned off. 豆子煮过头了，不能吃了。The beans are overcooked. We can't eat them now. 过分 also means excessive, especially a person overstepping their proper limits, making excessive demands, overdoing something. 你不必过分在意他的话。You don't need to care too much about what he says. 你不认为这样耍弄人有点过分吗？ Aren't you overdoing it a bit when making fun of people? 你怎么责骂他都不为过分。No matter how hard you come down on him, he deserves it. 过不去 literally means cannot get over an obstacle. So if someone 跟你过不去, they're intentionally putting obstacles in your way, embarrassing you, making life hard for you. 不知道他为什么一直跟你过不去。I have no idea why she's always so hard on you. 过火 is another way to say something is excessive. Someone has gone too far. 小朋友玩得太过火了。The kids were playing and got carried away. 他们的行为 跟言论太过火了。Both their actions and speech are beyond the pale. Here are two 4-character idioms to say something is premature, too soon, too early to say. 爸爸急什么嘛？买土地为时过早。Why is Dad in such a hurry? It's too early to buy the land. They're probably planning to build on that property. Notice how to say, what's the rush? 急什么嘛? Literally, hurry for what? 没有把握的事，不要言之过早。When an outcome is uncertain, don't talk like it's a done deal. 之 is the pronoun it. 你的著作是否能大卖？言之过早。Whether your work will be a bestseller, it's too early to say. This next section takes 过 as a grammatical particle, using it to express finished action or past experience. In these sentences, 过 may be either fourth tone or unstressed tone, depending on where one lives in China. As a general rule, in the areas of China surrounding Beijing, Mandarin is the native dialect, and many final syllables are subject to de-stressing, or adding a Chinese retroflex R sound, 日. In other provinces of China, where Mandarin was forcibly imposed on the local populations through the educational system, characters are often given their full original tone, as if they were a foreign language. Being unfamiliar with their northern neighbors' speech, every Chinese province has its own Mandarin accent, influenced by its particular local dialect. Remember, an official language is simply the dialect of the ruling class. Any other existing tongues are regional dialects and usually vigorously suppressed. Anyway, that's one explanation for why 过 may be either stressed or unstressed in the following sentences. In Taiwan, where I live, most, but not all, of these examples with 过 would be given a fourth tone stress. Notice the characters are colored either yellow for stressed or white for neutral tone. 你吃过了吗? Have you eaten? 这个问题你有没有想过? Have you ever considered this problem? 妈跟你说过不行. Mom already told you, no. 你去过北京吗? Have you ever been to Beijing? 他拍的电影我听说过. I've heard of the movie he directed. 我忍过半个小时才开口. I put up with it for half an hour before speaking up. In verb plus noun phrases, unstressed 过 is inserted between the verb and its noun. 她滑过雪吗? Has she skied before? 我没有骑过马. I've never ridden a horse. 他从来没有努力念过书. He's never put any effort into his studies. 开过刀，你的手肘就会好了. After the operation, your elbow will get better. 因为迷信的关系，妈从没过生日. Due to superstition, Mom never celebrated her birthday. And finally, a few examples of 过 as the result of another action, indicating that the action succeeded or failed, literally, did or did not overcome some obstacle. 你打不过他们. You can't beat them. The obstacle here is there are many of them and only one of you. 我哥一定信得过. My brother is completely trustworthy. In other words, there is no obstacle preventing you from trusting him. 说不过去 is an idiomatic expression meaning there's no excuse for something. It cannot be explained away or justified. This particular obstacle cannot be overcome. 不关心家人有一点说不过去 Not caring what happens to family members is rather hard to justify. Here is our color chart with today's only character, 过, and its simplified version. Here's a recap from today's lesson. 1. This lesson contains only a single new character, pronounced fourth tone, 过. Its earliest pictogram was the shoulder blade of an ox with cracks appearing on it, indicating a divination ritual whereby questions were put to the spirit world. The cracks that appeared upon heating the bone were then interpreted by a shaman or high priest, so that answers could be gleaned or predictions made. 过 originally meant an unintentional error or offense against the gods, which required that the spirits be questioned as to the offense committed and the way to make amends. Without this ritual, natural disasters would befall the offender and possibly the entire tribe. 2. The modern uses of 过 are all based on the idea of passing over an obstacle, going beyond it, in space or in time. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.